So here's an interesting question. Why is it easier to reinvent ourselves when we move halfway around the world than it is with our own trusted friends and family? I had this experience when I first moved to Boston, and it was, wow, mind-blowing. Because all of a sudden I stepped on fresh ground and I realized I can be anyone. And the question came up, who am I without all of the past, without all of the things that I was when I was in school, when I had my first jobs? Who am I now? And because I didn't know anyone other than my partner, I had this fresh slate. I had the chance to say, who am I in this moment? And a lot of times, as we don't always have the option of moving to a new country or switching to a new job or finding a new partner, the question comes up, how can we step outside of our boxes that once provided some concreteness, some chances to help us communicate and find our tribe, but that maybe somehow feel constrictive and constraining now and not so in alignment with who we are at this moment. And so there's something I've been working a lot with lately, and it's this idea of inner alchemy. So inner architecture is the actual structure and space. Within that space, we are made up of a mass of different beautiful elements. Just like in nature, we have earth, water, wind, and fire that all exist within space. We also have all of these different elements, and we all have access to them. And what makes us each unique is that we are different cocktails, if you will, different mixes, not only in different situations, but in different times of our lives. And when we allow for this fluidity, we allow for that exploration to say, you know what, maybe that's who I was and that helped define me at some point in time in my past, but now it feels constrictive. How can I gracefully step outside of that box? And so there are three things that I would like to say that might help us in that way. The first is priority. So when we are seeing that there's some place that we want to change and grow, we need to give it some space. And we need to give it the opportunity for us to explore that without, as soon as we hit up against the first barrier, saying, oh no, this is too difficult. Because it takes some priority. It takes saying, yes, I care about this more than I care about comfort, because it's more comfortable to stay inside the box. The second is patience and grace with ourselves, right? This comes up over and over. If you watch a toddler, when they first find their hand or their foot, what do they do with it? They shove it in their mouths, right? And they start doing weird things with it, but they spend time exploring them. And soon they figure out how to utilize it, how to make it best use, how to take that part of themselves and integrate it. And that's the same process that happens each time we step outside of a box into the unknown. We learn about ourselves, we grow, and we integrate, we expand. And the last is this trust. And it's often a switch because we have these trusted advisors, our friends, our families, our partners, and we often rely on them to be our sounding block when something new comes up. But a lot of times when we have the desire to step out into the unknown, into expressing a part of ourselves that previously maybe wasn't expressed, that can be really scary for our partners and for our friends and family, because it takes something that was once unknown and very concrete and solid, and now it throws it into the wind and says, well, I don't even know who you are anymore. And so during this time of exploration, it really requires that we have trust in ourselves to say, yes, this might be a little messy. Yes, it might be a little bit scary, but I'm trusting that this is the right way to go, and I will get through this to a point where I can integrate this gracefully into my life. So this is what I'm wishing for you. For those places where you have curiosity to see your own expanse and growth, to make it a priority to explore those things, to give yourself grace, and to trust yourself in that exploration. I'm wishing you happy hunting with your little boxes and lots of freedom and space to explore and expand. Cheers, guys.